All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Tom Tomato. It is 10 p.m. Pacific time already. That's funny that you said that because I was actually just thinking about opening the stream by saying, I don't know if anyone's going to show up tonight. I'm just going to stream like in the early days and just like do it like no one's there. But there you are. Appreciate you being here. Um, I thought last night's stream was so fun and successful that I want to go right back in and try 8 pitches. Um, and the little twist will be other than the one pitch pitcher. The one pitch pitcher gets a 400 fastball, no question. But starting with the two pitch pitchers, 3 pitches, whatever. That last pitch is going to be a 50 pitch because I also want to test out, does it just have to be a pitch or does it have to be a good pitch? And so if it has to be a good pitch, then the break we should see instead of between 2 and 3 pitches is between tonight will be between 3 and 4 pitches because that third pitch will not be a real pitch, or that second pitch will not be. Oh no, sorry. The break we saw between 2 and 3 pitches will now show up between 3 and 4 pitches because that third pitch will not be a real pitch. So that's what we're going to test. I thought about testing with just 4 pitches, but then you don't get enough because the 3 pitch pitchers should technically be throwing 2 pitches, really, if the quality of the pitch matters. So that's what we're going to do. I'm glad you're on board. It sounds like you're interested in this too. So um, let's open the base game. The other thing, after last night, I don't think it matters so much, but I do want to be thoughtful about the order of the pitches because there might come a time where we decide, okay, we should retry this with a different order of pitches in case it matters. So I was going to pull up the base game, remind myself of all the pitches that they can have, and I'm just going to pull up whatever here. Here's the base game. I'm just going to pull up whatever game was last playing, so we'll just continue it. Because really, I just need to go look at the editor, see what pitches they have. Now, the first 4 will keep the same order we did yesterday. That order was the first 4 pitches will be fastball, changeup, slider, curve. That's the order we used last night. I thought it worked pretty well. I think changeup has to be second because we know from our experiments how important that pitch is. I think to go from 1 to 8, let's try to continue this pattern of kind of no, I thought you were I thought you were going to be doing a marathon session tonight. The Nolan Network podcast. Thank you for the raid. Um, I wasn't joking when I said I look forward to raiding into you. I was hoping you were gonna go long and I could be like, oh, let's go back into Nolan. I did miss the your post game whatever roster stuff you did, but hope the rest of your stream went well. I enjoyed watching your 79 Mariner stream. The team looks very different now based on the overhaul you did. So what we're doing here tonight is a continuation of a really fun and a very informative experiment we did yesterday. Oh, you were waiting for someone to come on? Yeah, if you get back on and I somehow miss you, let me know you're on because I'll happily raid back into you. So last night we did this. We tested whether it matters if you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 pitches as a starting pitcher. And the results were some of the most fun and clearest results we've ever had. There's a definite break between 2 and 3 pitches. So if you have 1 and 2 pitches as a starter, you're going to get rocked. And it gets a lot better if you pick up a third pitch. The only thing really that we saw statistically that happens when you pick up that fourth pitch is your whip doesn't change, your other things don't change. The only thing that changes is within the outs you get, you'll get more of them from strikeouts. Um, that was like surprising in both directions. It was um, it was a little surprising that you actually don't get a lot better or even better at all in terms of whip. But it was also surprising that on top of that, somehow you just get more strikeouts. And I don't know if we're drawing too much out of it, but it also seems like it reflects the way the game calculates what happens. That it calculates, safe or out first. And then once it knows you have an out, then it figures out, okay, is it a strikeout or another kind of out? But I think it was enough that we wanted to do that with more pitches. So we're going to extend it to 8 pitches tonight. Other thing we're going to do, and Tom Mato in the chat and I were just discussing this, is does it matter the quality of that last pitch? So now what's going to be different from tonight to last night is if you're a 2 pitch pitcher, your second pitch is a 50 quality pitch. Whereas the league average in this artificial league we created is every pitch is a 400. So you're getting an additional pitch, but it's a crappy pitch and doesn't matter. If it matters, then that break point we saw between pitches 2 and 3 last night should now occur between pitches 3 and 4. The other thing that would be interesting to see is as you go out beyond pitch 4 to pitch 5, pitch 6, and so on, does the improvement flatten out? Or do you continue to get better, significantly better, as you add pitches? Now that significance might vary from person to person, but it'll just be interesting like what that curve looks like. Pitch variety, fastball, changeup, hanging slider. Exactly. In fact, you you could potentially make a prediction that if that additional pitch is bad, that you're better off not adding more pitches. But the problem here is, and maybe this is a different experiment. Every pitcher's last pitch is going to be a 50. So the thing we might want to test tomorrow night is, are you better off with 3 pitches that are good or a fourth pitch where the fourth is crappy? Because if you throw that crappy pitch, if you're going to get rocked, you're maybe better off not having that pitch at all. I think that's a good follow-up experiment to what we do tonight. But yeah, so let's so when Nolan, when y'all rated in, and welcome Raiders, we were just going to refresh our memory on the pitches that are available. So we're just going to pick any pitcher from this sim that we just did. What is this? This is, oh yeah, we replayed the 2023 season in 1900. That's why this team has 3 starters in this rotation. Check out John Means. It turns out John Means is a stud dead ball pitcher. 1.87 ERA, 1.02 whip. Okay, now I'm getting sidetracked. What makes John Means such a good dead ball pitcher? Well, first, the profile. We talked about this after we did the sim. This low stuff, low HRA, high PBAB, high control profile seems to work really well in that era. We saw that a bunch of times. Let's see. Holding runners might help too in that era. We did see a lot of stolen bases. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but I just want to. Yeah, you see all these stolen bases, right? Uh, Jorge Mateo stole 113 bases. What's the most he stole in real life? Yeah, I mean, legit, he stole 35 and 32, but he stole 113 in dead ball. Kitty Poo Poo, what's up? I got a little sidetracked here as we went to look up pitches. This is the 2023 season played under 1900 conditions, and I was just looking to see why John Means was such a stud at dead ball. But yeah, let's get back to the pitch list. This is what we're looking for here. Is this list here? So I'm going to keep this up on a separate window while we. There we go. I'm going to put the order here. Okay, so fastball. So we're going to try to alternate harder pitches with more off-speed ish pitches, right? So fastball, slider are kind of harder pitches. Changeup, curveball tend to be more off-speed ish. So, well, it's going to be hard to do that, I guess. Now that we get past the only real fastballish pitch I see is the cutter. Forkball, I think of as being kind of off-speedish. I'm not going to do the screwball because that has implications on splittiness. And so let's make the next pitch the cutter. And then we'll go fork. Well, circle change. I wish we'd done the two changeup experiment before this, so we know if it's even worth adding a circle change. Um, we could go forkball, I guess. I mean, I think of the forkball as the more off-speed version of the splitter. So we go forkball, splitter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Forkball, splitter. I don't necessarily want to mess with knuckleballs yet. So it's circle change or sinker. Let's go sinker. Okay, that'll be the order. We can always revisit this, but I need an order to start with, so we'll use that as our order. Let me get caught up on chat here. Kitty Poo Poo, congrats on that Sabathia. That's a nice pull. Tom Tomato, yeah, dead ball strategy stealing all day. The successful or not part I find interesting. Um, Feels like if you use the right sliders, you can kind of get the best of both worlds, right? Like steal a ton and maybe not get thrown out as much if you make your bad stealers not steal as much. Hello, D Block. Welcome back. Okay, let me jot down the order of our pitches here so I don't forget them. And if anyone wants to comment on if something feels off, let me know. But we're going to go fastball, changeup, slider, curve, cutter, forkball, splitter, sinker. I do have some concerns about having the forkball and splitter right after each other, but okay. So now we have that order. Let's go ahead and start the sim. Oh, um, I didn't actually think there would be people on tonight, so let's get a form started so you guys can get your guesses in. We'll build it off of last night's form. And I realize I basically have one more episode, one more stream to figure out what if anything I'm gonna do for 100. D-Block, you've done a ton of streams. Did you do anything special for your 100th stream? Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to change this. I'm supposed to make a copy. I'll put the form up on the screen so you can see what I'm doing in a second here. All right, we'll call this one 1 to 8 pitches. Okay, so this will be episode 98. 1 to 8 pitches. Instead of 1 to 4, it's going to be 1 to 8. We'll have to use the 8 by 8 league. After the 1 pitch team, the nth pitch for each team will be rated 50. All other pitches will still be rated 400. So basically, if you're a 3 pitch team, you get 2 400 pitches, and that third pitch, your slider, will be a 50. Forkball 7 will be splitter, and 8 will be sinker. Okay, and as a reminder, please make sure your the apparently for purposes of pack giveaways, the OOTP login ID is case sensitive, so please make sure you have your capitalization correct when you fill that OOTP login in. Okay, we'll keep the first one. I think the same. How many pitches in the repertoire of the pitcher who leads the combined leagues in WHIP? I like that question. It worked well yesterday, but now we need to add 5, 6, 7, 8. Now keep in mind that there's a difference between tonight and last night. That nth pitch is a 50, so you may want to rethink. Just to be transparent with everybody, the leader in WHIP last night was a 3 pitch pitcher, and about half the league leaders in WHIP had 3 pitches, about half had 4 pitches. But tonight, the 3 pitch pitcher will have a 50 third pitch, so that might change the way you guess here. Okay, tiebreaker 1. How many pitchers with the same number of pitches as the WHIP leader are in the top 7 in WHIP? This was a really interesting question last night. I assumed the answer was going to be all 7 or maybe 6 out of 7, but it turned out it was about 50-50, which I didn't anticipate, but our guessers did, right? They guessed 3 and tied. That was pretty impressive as far as I was concerned. And then tiebreaker 2. I'm going to change, actually, I'm going to change tiebreaker two. It's going to be more of a version of question one. So we learned something interesting last night about strikeouts. So let's work with that and copy this question. Tiebreaker two. How many pitches in the repertoire of the pitcher who leads the combined leagues in strikeouts per nine? And I think that's minimum 162 innings pitched. Or, you know what? Let's just make it, they just have to be on that league leaders. And last night, that's where almost that entire list was four pitch pitchers. And we're going to do, again, we'll do seven for first place and three for second place again tonight. Um, Seven center packs the winner, three center packs the second place. Now we do have a survey question at the end here, um, which is how would you prefer that we give away the packs? The choices are winner take all, so all 10 packs just go to one person. There's no second place. Second choice is what we're doing tonight, which is seven packs to winner, three packs to second place. And the third option is we just have basically two co-winners, and they each get five. Okay, so if you weren't on last night, this might be a little confusing. So I'll just go over again the form. So your first guess is how many pitches does the league leader in WHIP throw? Right? Are they from basically are they from team pitch one, pitch two, pitch three, pitch eight? Right. Then the second question is the tiebreaker is on the statistics page. It shows the seven league leaders. So however many pitches the league leader throws, how many other pitchers with that same pitch total are in the top seven? If you think they're all going to throw that same number of pitches, then just put seven. Um, then the next tiebreaker is how many pitches are thrown by the pitcher who leads the league in strikeouts per nine innings. And then last tiebreaker is what is the WHIP, the combined league leading WHIP? This kind of goes back to question one, right? It's a WHIP question. What's the league leading WHIP? So let's launch this so you can think about it and start filling it out while we set up the sim. Let me put this up while I get the form ready for posting. Right. There's the link. Let me pin it. Okay. Let's start setting up this experiment. It was crazy how clear the outcome was last night. It was really impressive. Um, you'll notice the if you haven't been here in a few streams, I used to ask, okay, which team is going to win, assuming that the most important trait or the most powerful trait would lead to that team winning. But when things get tight, that wasn't always the case. And also with pitching, this is a starting pitcher experiment. The bullpens are all average and identical. So once the starting pitcher's out of the game, um, there's basically a whole bunch of innings that are a crapshoot. And so I think that tends to also muddy the waters a bit. So we're going with now individual starting pitcher results and what team they play for, because what team they play for is what attributes they have. So we've changed that up a little bit. All right, so let's back to the home screen. Let's open an 8x8 quick start. These quick starts are so good. I'm glad I started playing with them because they're way easier to work with than backups. So average league 8x8. Are we really only on version one of that? Oh, quick start 2 8x8. All right, I keep forgetting the name, please. So let me jot down the name here. Average league 8x8. And then that's just jotting down some file names we're going to use here. So let me make sure it shows the right one. We're choosing average league 8x8. We're going to call it pitch repertoire 1 to 8 V1. Okay, we're going to start not managing a team. Commissioner mode cannot be fired. All right, let's start. Let's start by renaming the team so I don't lose track of what pitches I'm changing for which team. The one pitch angels. Now, this is something we learned last night that's important to do when we get to the league leader screen so we can remember how many pitches that pitcher had. We're going to change the abbreviation to 1 AL, 2 pitch athletics, 2 AL, 3 pitch Mariners, 3 AL, 4 pitch Rangers, 4 AL, 5 pitch average team 5, 5 AL, 6 pitch average team 6, 6 AL, 7 pitch average team 8. Oh, that's weird. Why are they out of order? All right, just to be consistent, I'm going to make this 8 pitch because teammate will be 8 pitches. 7 pitch. Okay, that's a little weird. The 1 pitch Braves. 1 NL, 2 pitch Mets. Again, the Mets are going to be on the short end of the stick here. We already know 2 pitches is bad, especially tonight. That second pitch is going to be a 50 rated pitch, so it might just be another 1 pitch team. That's one of the things we're testing for tonight. The 3 pitch Phillies, the 4 pitch Nationals, the 5 pitch team. Oh no, wait. Okay, here's another one. This is out of order again too. So we'll just do. I want to keep it consistent with the team name. So 7 pitch team 7, 8 pitch team 8, 8 NL, 5 pitch 5 NL, 6 pitch 6 NL. Okay, so the teams are all renamed. Let's just go here to make sure it goes through. Awesome. All right, so let's make some edits. And again, we're going to change the pitches of all 6 starters, even though there are 5-man rotations. One of these pitchers will be in the pen. Okay, now the first team does not get a 50 fastball. I tried to be very clear in the experimental setup in the form. The first pitch will always be a 400 fastball. Everyone beyond that will be a 50 last pitch. Max is just lurking. Hello, Max. And I think you said you're not streaming tonight, right? Even though you have off tomorrow. Oh, you are streaming tonight. Okay. I'm glad I asked then. Oh, right. You didn't stream last night because you had to work today, but tomorrow you're off, so you can stream tonight. Let's give Max a little shout out here, by the way. Max LP 80. He'll be going on after us tonight. He's gotten really good, really fast at silver. Is it bronze and silver? I think bronze and silver tournaments. Placing, I think, in the top 10 in at least one of them for PTCS standings. He does play by play for tournaments and roster builds, and is starting I think 1994 Mariners save. So give him a follow. Check him out after our show. Bronze, silver, and open. There you go. Okay, so that first 1 pitch team is done. Now we'll do the other 1 pitch team. I don't know why it's always pitcher 1 that the AI puts into the bullpen because they're all identical. I mean, I guess it's less surprising if it's pitcher 2 through 5. Like, I guess I would have assumed it'd be the last pitcher, but I guess if not, then the first pitcher would make the second most sense. It would be very confusing if it took 2 through 5 for some reason. But if it did, I would think that's a sign that there are other hidden variables that we don't see in editor, but they exist in the game that maybe the AI can detect when they're making roster decisions. That's something I'm always on the lookout for because I mean this is a complex game. I I can't I can't believe that everything that goes into the calculations is visible and editable in editor. So I'm always looking for signs that there's something there like under the surface that you can't maybe detect directly, but you can infer from observations. Kind of like how you can't see a black hole, but you can detect a black hole by watching light get bent as it goes past a black hole. Um, so, like maybe we can't observe a trait in the game, but maybe we can detect the trait exists by seeing like anomalies in the data. Okay, now this is important here. This is the first two pitcher. They're getting a changeup, but it's going to be a 50 changeup. Now, will the game consider that a second pitch? And frankly, if the results are too similar to last night, I may try this again tomorrow, giving that pitch like a 1 rating because technically it's there, but it's not really there. And let's see if that does something. But 50 seemed low enough, but who knows? And I already made the form out for 50, so I can't change it now. How did y'all do in your league playoffs today? Anyone have any really good runs through the playoffs? Headed to promotion? All right, doing the two pitch Mets now. Tomato hasn't logged into Perfect Team today. That's funny. I can't remember the last day I didn't log in Perfect Team. It's probably before the new game came out. Oh, D-Block was promoted in packs only. Congratulations. To what level were you promoted, D-Block? I can't imagine doing a packs only team. I just do not have the willpower to let those almost finished missions in particular just sit there unfinished. All right. This is going nicely. We already finished with our two pitch teams. Now we're going to the third pitch. From iron to bronze. Congratulations, D Block. With RNG, I don't underestimate the difficulty of any promotion. I think that's awesome. Okay, so now 400 fastball, 400 changeup, and now a 50 slider. You were in the first Diamond League, then down we went. Yeah, Tomato, I'm with you. Most of my teams have been stuck in stone and iron forever. I mean, part of that is I've been neglecting them because I like playing tournaments, but I don't necessarily like managing my league team. And I've been doing a lot more base game stuff since I started streaming. But even though I hadn't been, I think it's hard to get any promotion. I'm impressed by any promotion. The leagues are more competitive. RNG is always going to be RNG. All right, 50 slider, 400 change. Okay. I think that's done with our three pitch pitchers. This is going really well. Okay, four pitch pitchers. So curveball, that's the last pitch. So we just have to change the curveballs to 50 and we're done. This will be the one of the easier edits tonight. What do y'all think? Was I too generous with 50? Nolan was trying to see if chemistry will help your team. Oh, interesting. I know Cheeky just is about to launch, or maybe he already launched a Padres theme team. I'm kind of curious to see how much the chemistry is able to help that team. Tom Beto thinks 50 is fine. I hope so. So, Togmeter, what do you think? Do you think the 50 pitch will count? Will the AI count it as a pitch, or do you think it'll kind of ignore it as not being good enough? I've been going back and forth on this question all day because I knew I was going to do this sim, and I can see a case for both. You think the AI will use it? All right, so now we're adding the cutter. The fifth pitch will be the cutter. Now, there's a totally valid argument to be made that we may have to repeat this experiment with different pitch orders, but I'm hoping it's as clear as it was last night that there'll be less pressing need to do that if the results are compelling enough. All right. Team neutral, team five. Tomino doesn't think the AI will not use a pitch because of ratings. I think it's programmed that if they have it, they will use it. Oh, yeah. I'm not questioning whether it'll use it or not. I'm wondering if it'll still count as, for the purposes of, you know, whip improvement, will it will it have the same improving effect? So yeah, I probably didn't ask the question the way I intended to. But my questions were, I agree. I think that the pitchers will use the pitch. I'm just wondering if it'll have that same impact on the whip improvement. All right. Pitch five team is done. We are just clipping along here. All right. Team six now gets a cutter and a forkball, with the forkball being the 50 pitch. So let's add the forkball. Then we'll add the cutter. Add a forkball. Add a cutter. Add a forkball. Add a cutter. Last starter on this team. Forkball, cutter. Whoa, what is this? Capcom with the raid. Wait a second. Capcom, does that mean did you finish ripping 10,000 packs already? You did. Wow. I thought you would still be doing that into tomorrow. I mean, I guess your time maybe you already are into tomorrow, but 16 hours. I am impressed. I am very impressed. Only only 16 hours. I guess the switching from the card by card pack opening to the instantaneous pack opening helped. Oh, we're hurting Void's eyes and mental health. Although Void grew up with Kava, so I don't know how much more we can damage his mental health than Kava's already done. Okay, we're adding a forkball and a cutter to this guy. It would have been 50 hours otherwise. I remember you saying that number. That's why I'm so impressed that you got it down to 16. Well, Kava, if you want to go rest, I don't blame you. If you want to hang out here, you're more than welcome to. But congratulations on getting all 10,000 packs opened. I am curious to know what the best card you ended up pulling was. Roger and Headlights fell asleep 3 hours ago. Chris Sale, nice. This is PT24 for everybody who did not see any of that pack ripping. Cobb was opening 10,000 PT24 packs, I think for Mr. Audit. Was that right? So, for the folks who just joined, let me show you what we're working on here. We are doing an experiment based on a really successful experiment we did last night. So, we're trying to find out what the relative impact of adding additional pitches to a starting pitcher's repertoire is. Now, last night we tested this with 1 through 4 pitches. There's a huge improvement from going from 2 pitches to 3 pitches. And I don't know, kind of strangely, the only improvement from going to 3 pitches to 4 pitches was your strikeout rate increased, but whip and everything else stayed the same. So we want to see, okay, well, what happens if you go beyond 4? Because we saw interesting things as you went from 1, 2, 3, and 4. The other thing we're changing though tonight is whatever that last pitch is. So if you're on team pitch 5, your fifth pitch will be a 50 rated pitch instead of a 400 rated pitch. So basically like a throwaway pitch. We also want to see does the game engine treat that as a real pitch or not, and for purposes of performance improvement. So that's what we're doing now. We're editing the pitchers. We have 4 more teams to go, and then we're ready to start the sim. So this is Team 7. They're getting cutter, forkball, splitter, and the splitter is the 50 pitch. '50 splitter and a 400 cutter. That's a lot of pitches. But with all the pack ripping, I forgot to find out how your playoff teams did. I think at the beginning of the day you said you had, I think it was one or two teams in the playoffs. All right, that team's done. Lost. Sorry to hear that, but you won the pack ripping battle. That's something. All right, good night, Capcom. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the entertaining stream today. I spent most of my morning there. Had a really great time. Yeah, that was unexpected. I didn't I was not at all expecting a raid from Kava because I thought he'd be going well into the morning. All right, as well as last night's experiment with, I am super psyched about tonight. Very hopeful that we have as clear of results as we did last night. So for those of you who came in the raid, maybe haven't seen my stream before, we do all kinds of experiments and simulations in the base game, whether it's bringing people or teams together from across baseball history, or doing what we're doing tonight, which is using this completely neutral league we set up as a test environment to test out things like adding one pitch or adding a perfect pitch or testing batting attributes. Okay, this is all 8 pitches. The sinker is the last pitch they're getting, a 50 sinker. So there's the sinker. Still get a splitter, and they still get a cutter. Oops. Yeah. Fork ball, 50 sinker. Oops. They need a splitter and a cutter. 50 sinker, 400 splitter. So if you're new to our stream and you haven't played an editor before, this is what the basically like the guts of a player profile look like. All these ratings turn into the ratings on the profile, which drive their performance in the game. So by playing with these numbers, you can essentially, change the player profile, the player card that's in the game. You can also create players in the same way. You can import players in the same way. And then, of course, you can edit anyone you import and create too. So there's almost no limit to how you can tweak things in the game here. Sure. All right, I think we're almost done. This is the last picture, I think, and then we're ready to. We'll just double check the settings because we haven't used this 8x8 quick start very much. Okay, so let's save because we did all that work making these edits. So let's save that. Before we save it as a quick start, let's make sure all the game settings are where we want them. Coaching's off, injuries are off, suspensions off, development off. Retirements, okay. Modifiers. Let's lock this so it doesn't change anything. I think locking, that's the only thing we missed last time. And then let's make sure our manager settings are right. Yeah, we need to uncheck these so we don't get interrupted. If you haven't seen us sim before, the reason we don't use the do not disturb up here, which does the same thing, is if you read the fine print, it lets the AI take over a bunch of stuff that we don't want it doing. And then mailbox settings, we need mailbox from the entire league so that we can get all the announcements we're going to use. Okay, so let's save again, and then we're going to save the quick start. The reason we're saving this quick start, even after we made this, we're saying it as a new quick start. Basically, if we want to rerun the experiment, we can just rerun this quick start. So it'll be pitch repertoire 1 through 8, B1. Each team has starting pitchers with 1 through 8 pitches. With the nth pitch after pitch 1, 50. All other pitches equal 400. So all these pitches being 400, every pitcher in the league has pitches graded 400. The whole idea is every player in the league is identical and average as possible, so that when we do these tests, the test element is the only variable that's changing. Um, okay, y'all, is there anything else I might have forgotten to set here? Who's under control? Oh, I believe every team has a pitching staff and a lineup set. That can sometimes throw things off if it's not set up. Okay, and let's do this. Let's make sure that let's give AI control at this point. Or actually, wait. Clay Dog, yeah. So the main improvement we did after the league leaders thing is I made sure that the is that the 3-letter abbreviation the three-letter abbreviation now reflects how many pitches they had, so that when we're in the league leader, we're in the league leader page, we can see more easily how many pitches they had. So I think I want to give the AI control, right? Trades are off. There's no reserve. There are no reserve rosters. I don't think they can get into any trouble. So I think it's okay that I do this. We're going to fire human managers. Yeah. Yeah. So I've been released by Team 6, which is fine. All right. So, oh, why is the form not, the form's not pinned anymore? Raiders, if you want to enter our 10-pack giveaway, let me repin it. I thought I clicked manually unpin at the end of the stream. So anyway, there's a form pinned at the top of the chat. Um, what I'll do is it's repinned. You can fill it out. I think it'll be a good time to push ads, and I'll refill my water and stuff. Give you all a chance to fill out the form. But let me walk you through the form, because if you weren't here for last night's stream, it might be a little confusing. I think it might be helpful to. Oh, wait. Let's not show the responses. Let's show the questions. Here you go. Okay. So we're testing the impact of having 1 through 8 pitches. The order in which they're added is up top here, 1 through 8. And the last pitch that's added, so if you're team 5, your cutter is a 50. All your other pitches are 400. The experimental details are all the different settings. Chemistry's off, morale's off, and so on. Make sure your OOTP ID is case correct. Upper and lowercase letters are correct. Okay, so the first question. Whoever leads both leagues in whip, how many pitches is that pitcher throwing? How many pitches in the repertoire? Then the first tiebreaker is whatever team that pitcher's from, however many pitches they're throwing, how many other pitchers in the top 7 have the same number of pitches to throw? So let's just say you guessed 8 pitches, and the league leader in whip was throwing 8 pitches. How many of the top 7 are also throwing 8 pitches? Then the next one is how many pitches in the repertoire of the pitcher who leads the league in strikeouts per 9 innings? And then the last tiebreaker is what will be the whip that leads the combined leagues? Now, in full transparency, the answer to this first question, how many pitches in the repertoire of the pitcher who led the combined leagues in whip? Last night it was 3. But keep in mind that third pitch was a 400 pitch last night. Tonight it's a 50 pitch. That's a big difference, potentially. And then for tiebreaker 2, the league leader in strikeouts per 9, and in fact, all the league leaders in strikeouts per 9 had 4 pitches. Again, that fourth pitch, though, was a 400 last night. So good luck filling out the survey. Good luck with your guesses. We'll award the packs at the end of the night after the sim. We're ready to go, but like I said, I'm going to push ads and get ready to stream after we get back. Or are the ads already over, or did they not happen yet? I didn't think I'd been gone for 3 minutes. Oh, they were done before I said they would start? Okay. Well, that might have worked out perfectly then. All right. If anyone's still working on their entry for the 10-pack giveaway, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna close the form and we'll get started. Okay. Epic Rock Lord's still working on it. We'll give them a little bit of time here. No problem. And, last night I shared last night's results in the Discord. If anyone else is interested in joining our Discord, we post a lot of our experiment results in there, our simulation results. Members of the community are encouraged to post the results of their sims and experiments in there. I know Tom Tomatoes posted a bunch of sim results in there that have been fun to see. So let me get a link to that. Okay, so this link will work for up to a week. This is a franchise time machine Discord. There's a link to that. All right, Epic Rock Lord's done. If no one else is working on it, I will go ahead and close the survey. We'll take a quick look at the anonymized answers. Epic Rock Lord did a thing a while ago. Weight of individual pitch has in stuff slash velocity 100 plus. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we did something similar to this, but we weren't able to come up with such specific values per pitch. But our results agree with yours that the changeup is the biggest impact. Oh, that's really cool. I'm actually gonna screen grab that so that no knuckleball for future reference. This is when we revisit that, it'll be cool to be able to compare it to another data set. Do you remember what version of Perfect Team you did that in? That's really cool. All right, I'm going to hide the first three columns of the form here. All right, let's take a look at what everyone's thinking here. That's the resulting stuff for each velocity. See how even 75 to 80 has 95. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so I know you can see that stuff in editor, but a lot of times I'll hide that stuff during the setup so that we can see it play out in the season simulation. But it's really cool to see how crisply you're able to um, show those rating changes. That's really cool. Hmm. All right, so tonight, what's everyone thinking here? How many pitches in the repertoire of the whip leader? We've got anywhere from 3 to 7. So that's interesting because whoever said 3 then has to believe that that third pitch being a 50 rating is not going to matter to the AI, which is very possible. How many pitches are the same number of pitches as the whip leader in the top 7? Anywhere from 2 to 5. So no one believes that the same pitch count is going to dominate the whip leaderboard, which is interesting. And then how many pitches in the repertoire of the team that leads in strikeouts per 9? We've got anywhere from 3 to 6 here. And then what will be the combined league leading whip? Okay, I want to whisper someone, whoever this is, I want to whisper them to give me a number, but I want to hide the other numbers so they don't get in it. Well, I don't know. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can ask them for a number because I just revealed all the other numbers. So that gives them an unfair advantage. So they'll have to win it on the strength of non tiebreakers. I try to let people resubmit when it's like a clear. But anyway, the whips are anywhere from zero point 0.9 to 1.21, and again, it is not Price is Right rules, so you can go over. So whoever put zero point 0.9, if it's low, could be in the driver's seat. All right, interesting, interesting. Always fun to see those before we start up. All right, so let's fire up the sim. All right, hope it doesn't go to tiebreaker 3. All right, so we do these usually in 2023, so we always get a little bit of a 2 game intro to things because the end of March gives a little taste of what's coming. All right, let's fire up the first full month now. Wow, my computer's feeling froggy tonight. You see how fast the sim is going? I couldn't even keep up with it. It's running so smoothly tonight. All right, we have the 8 pitch team leading the AL. 8 and 6 are only separated by 1 game. Um, Oddly, the 3 pitch team is doing the worst in the AL, and the 3 pitch team is doing the worst in the NL. But the commonality is pitches 1 and 3 are doing the worst in the NL and the AL. Okay, this always makes me worry when there's a 2 pitch team here. I know it's just 1 month, but let me just do a quick check to make sure there's nothing weird with their. Oh shoot! Did I save this as a quick save? Oh, I did. I did. I did. Okay. Let me just make sure. I want to make sure I didn't make any mistakes here. Two pitch, just fastball changeup. That's the closer. Yeah. Okay. All right. Everything's good. All right. No mistakes there. All right. Let's do another month. Wow. Look how different the two leagues are. In the AL, the eight pitch team is running away with it, already 11 games ahead of the second place team. In the NL, you have one, two, three, four, five teams separated by four games. So this is why we no longer make our conclusions based on the team records. There's just too much noise involved, especially the bullpens. So this is why we go to the pitching stats at the end of the season. But it's still a fun format, so we're gonna still do it. All right, let's go to the All Star teams. All right, Team A still leading in the AL. Teams one, two, and three clearly starting to separate from the rest here. But in the NL, I mean, you are starting to see one and three separate at the bottom. Two, not so much. Two's in a logjam with five, eight, and two. All right, let's just make sure I didn't do anything weird here with the four pitch team. The curveball is pitch four. Yep, there, that's right. Okay, everything looks good. All right, so let's finish today and then we'll see what the all-star teams look like. We did learn quite a bit from this last time. All right, in the AL, let's look at the pitchers, the leading vote getters. Uh, five, four, four, six, and eight pitch pitchers leading in the votes in the AL. I want to capture all these. And then in the National League, uh, we've got a two pitch pitcher that's in the top five for votes. That's interesting. All right, let's look at who actually gets selected to the All Star game. Now, one thing to keep in mind is every team had six starters, but is running a five-man rotation. That means one of their starters is in the bullpen, getting the bullpen boost. And so a lot of those pitchers end up pitching well out of the pen. But we see here the starting pitcher is very much dominated by the higher pitch counts. Four is the lowest we see. Seven, 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 eight, four, six, five. Okay, then we'll get to the NL. Yeah, same thing. Um, there's a couple fours mixed in, but mostly five and above. Now this is weird. I mean, I have this happen in my saves all the time, but some of these weird all-star selections, like this pitcher, 3-7 with a 3.67 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. Um, we had like a 6 ERA make it last night. But these all-star selections look a lot better than last night's actually. from a pitching perspective. All right, so let me copy that. All right, and then it shouldn't really matter because this is a pitching test, but we're just going to go ahead and do the normal all-star activities. We'll run the home run contest. Again, this happened last night. Average infielder four wins the home run contest. All right, let's run the All Star. I just want to see kind of how our pitchers do in the All Star game. Clayton said, "That's my boy." Clayton's a big average infielder four fan. Average four jersey paying dividends. All right, we've got what teams are these starters from? Five pitch team and six pitch team. See again though, these don't seem like all-star numbers, right? 8 and 7 with a 404 and 9 and 6 with a 939. There were much better stat lines in the roster there. All right, AL wins 5-2. Let's just look at the box score and see how the pitchers did. Six pitch starter, eight pitch starter came in, eight pitch, four pitch. And then on the AL side, five pitch, eight pitch, eight pitch, four pitch. So whoever that starter was from the two pitch team, I don't even think they actually did they end up making the roster? Let me go back and see. So here's what I'm looking for. There's this pitcher two. This pitcher five from the two pitch Mets was fourth in All Star voting. I want to see if they made the roster. No, no one from the Mets. Oh wait, no, maybe they did. Wait, sorry, I have to go look at this again. Team two, NL2. Did anyone from NL2 make the roster? Oh, he did make the roster. No, no, that's a closer. Okay, our the starter from the Mets was fourth in votes, but he did not get selected to the All Star game. I am curious to see though what stat line he's throwing that 5 and 7, 5.18 ERA, 1.47 whip. I don't know why he's fourth in votes because popularity is turned off. So the AL vote should be strictly based on performance. So for some reason the AI, it might just be RNG, I guess, but that team got a ton of votes. That player got a ton of votes. Okay, let's go back to the sim. Standings. We'll finish this month. Be a shorter month here because of the All Star breaks in the middle of the month. Okay, coming into August, we have the eight pitch team leading the AL and the four pitch team leading the NL. Eight pitch team in the NL is actually 7 games behind. But it's pretty clear in the AL, pitches one, two, and three are falling way behind. And in the NL, you're starting to see that with the pitch two team starting to fall back, but pitches one and three clearly in the bottom of the NL there. All right, let's do another month. Okay, Teams one pitches 1, 2, and 3 are definitely now falling to the bottom. 4 and 6 though, still staying way ahead in the NL, and the 8 pitch team by themselves in the AL. This is going to be, I think, a pretty good case for why we now look at just the pitcher stats now instead of the standings. All right, we're in September, so let's just finish the regular season. We had two 100 team winners. One in the AL, one in the NL. The 8 pitch team and the 4 pitch team. Let's finish the last game. And let's look at some stats. I would like to start with the team stats. And let's order them by. Oh, can we not order them by OPS? Okay. The lowest OPS in the AL is 687. So the 7 pitch team. Let's see when things start to break down. With 1 pitch 799, 2 pitches 822, 3 pitches 824, 4 pitches. Okay, there's a big jump from 3 to 4. Last night the jump was from 2 to 3. So it does look like that 50 rated pitch is not helping. If that 50 rated pitch was helping, then you would still see the break point between pitches 2 and 3. But tonight we're not seeing that break until pitches 3 and 4. But let's check the NL. 1 pitch 834, 2 pitches 817, 3 pitches 817, 4 pitches 685. So again, huge jump there from 3 to 4 pitches. So I don't know if Tom Tomato is still in the room, but I think we have an answer to our question. That 50 rated pitch is not doing it in terms of that extra pitch needed to get that big whip benefit or that OPS benefit. We're not seeing it now until pitch 4. Last night we saw it at pitch 3. So I think it's pretty clear that 50 rated pitch is not doing the trick. So this has implications if you're doing drafting, if you're developing a player in an online league, right? It's not enough to just have a third pitch. You need that third pitch to be legit. I don't know what that cutoff is. We just tested it with 50, and 50 is not enough. But that's a really important thing to know if you're evaluating players or developing yourself as a player. Let's just double check it with I don't know, ERA, I guess. Try it with ERA. All right, 1 pitch 5.12, 2 pitches 5.46, 3 pitches 5.72, and then at 4 pitches you drop suddenly to 3.93. So again, that 3-4 gap is huge. And then the NL 5.76, 5.43, 5.42, and then with 4 pitches you suddenly go to 3.84. Okay. And then strikeouts. Well, last night we saw the strikeout jump when you got to the 4th pitch. When does it happen here? 1 pitch 838, 2 pitches 832, 3 pitches 941, 4 pitches. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, this is really interesting. The strikeout jump is still happening at pitch 4, which is where it happened last night. In the NL2, 912, 766, 901, 912, and then 1354. So that means the 4th pitch for the purpose of whip or OPS the 50 rated pitch is not enough compared to last night. So you actually need an additional pitch. But for strikeout, it's still happening the same four pitches. So that 50 rated pitch is still making a difference for strikeouts. Now, that doubly supports the conclusion we had last night, where the break point for whip is different for the break point for strikeouts. In this case, it's not the break point that's different. It's how the that throwaway pitch is counted or not counted that's different. That's really interesting to me. Wow, I was not expecting that. All right, well, let's cut to the chase. Let's go to the league leaders and get our drawing winner. All right, last night, all the league leaders and losses came from the 1 and 2 pitch teams. This is interesting. The loss leaders, there's only one from the 1 pitch team. They're mostly coming from the 2 and 3 pitch teams. I wonder if this is supporting that assertion we were making before the sim that maybe having a bad extra pitch is worse than not having an extra pitch at all. Because that bad pitch is like that's what's giving up the home runs or the base hits that are leading to the losses. You know, one way to check that would be home runs allowed. Where is that? Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking there's something to that because okay, here's my hypothesis then. All the home because all the home run allowed leaders are oh, see you, D Block. Thanks for stopping in. All the pitchers who give the most home runs are not 1 pitch pitchers. The one advantage the 1 pitch pitcher has is he's only throwing 400 rated pitches. As soon as you get to a 2 and 3 pitch pitcher now, tonight, this didn't happen last night, but tonight, they are throwing some 50 rated pitches. And I think those are the pitches giving up the home runs because there are no 1 pitch pitchers in the home run allowed leaders list. I don't think there's any way to pull the stats on that, but I bet most of these home runs are coming off of that 50 rated pitch. So the AI is still throwing it, and that's the pitch that's getting rocked. But that pitch still, with enough of them, is still giving an advantage in terms of strikeouts and whip. Okay, interesting. All right, so our whip leader is from Team 4, and there are only 2 pitchers from Team 4 in the top 7. But in terms of strikeouts, it's very top heavy. Lots of Team 7s and Team 8s. So again, this goes back to what we learned last night. I think it's holding true even if you add more pitches. That for whip, all that really seems to matter is that you clear the threshold of having enough pitches. And then you just have kind of a random mix of pitch counts in the whip leaders. But for strikeouts, having more pitches definitely seems to be increasing the stuff, which is increasing the strikeout count. Which is why you have way more 7s and 8s in the K per 9 leaders than you do in the whip leaders. So this is definitely reinforcing what we learned last night. It's holding true at higher pitch repertoire sizes too, which is really cool to see. Okay. Um, well, I'm done nerding out on the stats for now. I'll do a little more of that tonight while I'm watching Max do his stream. But let's go to the drawing or the contest here. All right, so the first question is how many pitches in the repertoire of the pitcher who leads the league in combined whip? And that answer is four, right? It was starter number six on the four pitch AL team. So let's filter around four. All right, so we're down to three contestants. Actually, at this point, let me unhide the Twitch ID column. All right, so the three survivors so far are Skyrola, the Nolan Network podcasts, and D Block. All right, the second question was how many pitchers with the same number of pitches as the whip leader will be in the top seven in whip? Okay, so team four, or it was a four pitch pitcher, and there are one, two, three pitchers with four pitches in the top seven in whip. And we only had one person with that response, and that is Nolan. So Nolan wins, but we have a second place prize of three packs to give away still. So the next tiebreak was how many pitches in the repertoire of the pitcher who led the league in strikeouts per nine? All right, that was seven. In fact, the top four had seven pitches. And everybody answered four. So now we have to go to combined league leader in whip. What was their whip? All right, the answer was 1.00. And the closest is with 1.07 D Block. So first place Nolan, second place D Block. Congratulations on your guesses. Congratulations on the wins. I'll submit those pack giveaways to OOTP developments tonight. You should have them in 24 to 48 hours. There might be a delay because of the holiday, so maybe give them a break and give them 2 to 3 days instead of the usual 1 to 2 days. But also thanks to OOTP developments for those packs that we get to give away each night. Yeah, so I think that's it on our end. I think this is another successful experiment. We had very clear results. And again, I think tonight's a great example of why we don't just go by standings anymore, right? Because the standings definitely muddied the waters, but it's a fun way to do it. So I'm still going to do this, right? But then you would think, oh, eight pitch is the best, and then for some reason four pitch is the best. I think it turns out a lot of that is RNG, and also the bullpens, which are full of RNG because everyone's exactly the same. But especially when you go to the team stats, let's go back to those team stats. Right, you can see tons of different ways things are breaking after three pitches and four pitches. Right, in terms of strikeouts, in terms of OPS. I do think it's too bad there's not uh, a whip here. But and also some of the things we're seeing as you go from 7 to 8 pitches could be the pitches, the order of the pitches, right? So if you look at, let's put our list of pitches back up. Right, fastball, changeup. I mean, part of the reason there's that the 7 pitch team is leading, it could be so the splitter is the seventh pitch, but it's a 50. So really, the last effective pitch you're getting is the forkball. There could be something about the forkball that's more effective, maybe than the sinker or the splitter. So I think that's something worth probing into if you want to go deeper into this. But I think the main conclusions are still the following. I think for purposes of OPS, that 50 rated pitch really doesn't count. But if you believe what we saw last night, that the big benefit in OPS or WHIP comes from going from 2 pitches to 3 pitches, tonight it was 3 pitches to 4 pitches. I think that's a pretty clear indicator that that 50 pitch is not really, for lack of a better term, counting in terms of that benefit. But strangely, for strikeouts, that fourth pitch is still counting. And in some ways, I guess that kind of makes sense because if you think about for strikeouts, does it just matter that you have the credible threat of 4 pitches so that batters have to look out for that to avoid striking out? But then you would think, then why doesn't that hold true for OPS? Like, why is it just a strikeout thing? I mean, part of that is it's a computer game. So if it's programmed that way, that's what's going to happen. So I think we're seeing signs there that there's a difference in the way OPS is calculated versus strikeouts are calculated. And again, that goes to something we think we started learning last night, which is how the sequence in which it calculates things, which is its own little interesting thing. Um, and then I think I need to just sit with these stats a bit more to look for some other things. Like we found interesting things previously when we look at things you would expect, like hit by pitches or wild pitches. Epic Rocklord says in play-by-play replay there is no info which pitch was used, or I don't know how to enable that piece of information. Okay, yeah, thanks for letting me know that because that saves me from like a futile search looking for it. Um, but one of the things that we'd heard previously, I don't know how true it is that the game basically calculates the broad outcome first, like whether it's an out or not, and then figures out what kind of out it is. And our data tends to support that because the fact that that additional pitch affects strikeouts but not anything else in terms of like batting average or OPS, it does seem to say, okay, are you making out or not? And then are you going to strike out? Oh, you have another pitch. Then the odds of a strikeout go up. But the odds of nothing else change for that extra pitch. That seems odd unless the strikeout's being calculated separately. But that's a bigger jump that we don't even necessarily have to make. The other things, though, are pretty clear. Like if you have only 400 rated pitches, there's a big break point between a 2 pitch starter and a 3 pitch starter. If your last pitch is a giveaway pitch, like a 50, then that break point is after 3 pitches or between 3 pitches and 4 pitches. So basically, you need more than 2 credible pitches to have that improvement in OPS. So Epic Rockwell says, okay, that means I need to do standard converter for all pitches. I don't necessarily know what you mean by standard converter, but if this helped you, I'm very happy that it helped you. Normalize the standard values. Okay. But interestingly, though, for strikeouts, it doesn't seem to matter that that fourth pitch is a giveaway pitch. We're still having the strikeout jump at 4 pitches, which is when we saw it happen last night. And then last night, that fourth pitch was a 400 rated pitch. So I'm going to call this a successful sim. Super fun seeing it play out in the season format. But the stats very clearly show this pattern again and give us an additional piece of information about whether the quality of the pitch matters, which I know something Talkmado and I were both very interested in. Um, and we had the pack giveaway come down to the fourth tiebreaker, which is cool. So congrats to Nolan and D Block. And let's get ready to get y'all over to Max. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your participation in chat. Always makes it way more fun and interesting. Yeah, Tankwedo. So you saw the result that the pitch quality matters for whip, but strangely does not seem to matter for strikeouts, which is unexpected and super cool in its own way, I would say. I'll post these. I'll post screenshots of data on the Discord. So if anyone wants to dig into it more, you can check it out. And thank you also to Cavacom for the raid and to the Nolan Network podcast for the raid. Very much appreciate it. But let's send you on over to Max LP80, and he'll take you into the late night.